Nylon Python says, are you going to debate him? He said, I'll talk to you. No, hell no. Once again, all of these people, Ramsey and his friends, his allies, who want to debate me or talk to me, there's nothing to debate. The debate is in court. There's nothing to prove. He can go to court and he can make his case in court. Whether or not, like, what do I have to say to him? Just to yell and to shout? And for all those people, that's their type of content. They profit and kind of their ecosystem is just yell and shout and defame and say nasty things about each other. There's no debate with him. And in fact, with Ramsey, there's only lies. And in fact, almost everything that we've come to see about his statements, such as, and we're going to go over them today, such as him getting a $500 fine and walking, well, we actually already know that's false. He's already paid more than $500 or owes more than $500. We're going to get into that. But everything he said has been not true. Tastic says, do you see the missed video? Ramsey a panic button. I did see there's a comment about him having a device that's a panic button. So there was a video where Ramsey says, I have a device that if I press it, the police will be here soon. He has no such device. You know what his device is called? Hank or Han Jong-yu. Hank calls the police at a moment's notice. In all of Johnny's streams, Hank will call, and afterwards, and we've seen this historically, Hank is the button. So he presses Hank, and Hank calls the police. So he pretty much texts Hank, and Hank calls the police. So Hank will call the police if a fly looks at him weird. He is an absolute coward. He threatens people to fights. He says he's going to fight people, and then he runs away, or says he won't do it, or says, oh, they're just going to use it for popularity, as if he's anybody important. So yeah, his device is Hank. And once again, Johnny's lied about everything consistently. So why would you start believing what Johnny says now? It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, that's the true button he has from the police. Yeah, Hank has it's not 911, it's 119. Remember, it's Korea. So he's got them on speed dial because unfortunately, and this is very unfortunate, I do not support this, his location was doxed by Johnny because Johnny decided to flash the papers in Korean, and he should have understood because there were numbers on there and they were like, obviously apartment numbers. He doxed himself by doing that. And he kept trying to say, oh, well, they're wrong. I have the charges. I have everything. And he didn't even know what charges he was flashing ahead. And he didn't also realize that your address is on there. So he doxed himself, which is unfortunate. Once again, I don't support doxing, but the idiot does it to himself, which is really dumb. I'll get three more, and then we're just going to gun this. FOPA X says Hank will need to find another partner in the Femme Persuasion for his hanky-panky business soon. Also, is the judge influenced by the press reaction? The judge is not influenced by the press, but he certainly has seen it. Let me put it this way. Remember that clip where Ramsey makes fun of the judge, and Ramsey says, I didn't understand the judge because he was speaking this, gobbledygook language, and he uses a racial slur as well. The judge definitely saw that, because think about this. The judge is probably in his 40s or 50s. So he's not like total, like he's never seen a cell phone before, but he's probably not terminally on the internet. But you know what they have usually? A daughter, a son, or a niece or a nephew or somebody that's on the internet and has seen this. And the Korean media has seen those clips and has put those out there in Korean. So there's no doubt, there's zero doubt in my mind that he has seen that clip, and that the bailiff has probably already seen that clip as well. Mike D says for 10, how do you think that the U.S. State Department is on it? Do you think he sat down with the U.S. diplomat? If so, what do you think they say to Johnny? I don't think so. No, he's not that important, guys. And this is the whole thing with the embassy theories and all the other, he's going to get out. It's not going to happen. He's not some high profile prisoner. He is a petty criminal in Korea who's going to be put in for, these crimes that he brought upon himself. He didn't get locked up. He's not sympathetic. He didn't get locked up because of, he was trying to speak out for the rights of migrant Kurdish people, right? This isn't something where he got, jailed because he was out there campaigning for Trump or something like that. No, he got jailed because of his own idiocy and his campaign of terror, really, across Seoul. Good, actually. Also, I'll answer this one. This is a good one. How is he streaming with a tourist visa? It's illegal. He's doing it anyways. So he actually might be on a litigation visa. I'm not sure whether he actually did the work to change it, but he's breaking that rule as well. So that's another facet there. And with the visa breaking, a lot of that, if it doesn't hit you immediately, it hits you when you leave the country. So if it doesn't happen right away, it may be something where before he leaves, he's got to pay this fine that he's violated, right? And these things can stack up. So yeah. Proxy 4818 says for 10. I've been wanting to ask this for a while, but is Ramsey even aware that the West hates him as much as Korea? Yes. Actually, one of his actual quotes was he is more afraid of Westerners, because the thing is about a lot of his content and what he does is it takes time for it to be translated. So the Korean side or the Japanese side or the Israeli side, wherever he was, Israel, let's remove Israel, but let's say Japan and Korea. Let's speak for those two. They're not getting the translated version till like a week later. And by then, especially in the world of nuisance streamers, they've moved to a new city, they've moved to a new thing, right? So it's lags, but only because he's stuck in Korea, he kind of is screwed. And especially because in Korea, the trials are spaced out. And because they're spaced out 1 month apart, there's plenty of time for the Korean media and for YouTube channels and everywhere else, blogs, Naver, Kakao, to translate what he says and get that out, which is a big service to everybody, because they're able to find out about this, because, otherwise he would be gone by now, right? He would have left if he wasn't travel banned, if he didn't have charges. And that's how a lot of the nuisance streamers get away with things, is because it takes a while for this stuff to get into the media. It doesn't go as fast as the internet. So we see it way before anybody sees it on the media. We see clips. They're still watching clips from the, post-trial, right, which happened last week, which happened approximately a week ago. So that's kind of how the speed goes. It's not, I would say, in the case of Ramsey, it's getting faster because people are really paying attention to him. But with most nuisance streamers, it takes a while to cover them, which is how they've fallen in this gap. Lisa saying, for 10, I have a question. Are sentences served one after another, or is there credit for time served? No, there's no time served. First of all, he hasn't served any time. He's not in jail. So time served doesn't apply here. Apologies, it's been answered. You missed it. No, you're fine. I just want to make it very clear. He's out and about. And even if he was detained before trial, there's no time served. It's when your sentence starts, it starts. And if there's more than one, you got to serve them back to back. It's not concurrent. Crimsoner said, could Korea be letting him stream so they collect the revenue later? I don't think that would be it. Once again, I don't know their incomplete logic, but that said, it's not going to help him at all. Not at all. Proxy 4818 for 20 says, are you where Ramsey blames you for nuking his YouTube channel? I wasn't even actually, by the time I started covering Ramsey, his YouTube channel was already nuked. So there's that. But that's fine. He wants to blame me for everything. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I mean, that's part of their little MO, is they blame everybody for everything, even when it's not their fault, and they expect you to yell and scream. I'm like, yeah, he wants to blame me, he can blame me for everything. I made him catch the common cold. I'm the one that that isn't cleaning up Hank's dirty laundry, that Ramsey is sleeping with every night. I mean, come on. I'm the one that made it snow or rain. Al says, could his actions in other countries contribute to sentencing? He does this wherever he goes. Yes, they can consider it. Especially with, whether or not they should let him off light or not. They can definitely consider it. Yes. Raven said, I can only imagine how the Johnny Somali defense lawyer must feel. They must have to defend this clown in court. Actually, I think they don't give, to be honest, he has a public defender. So I don't think that the public defender cares very much. He keeps saying it's a paid attorney. It's not. It's a free public defender. So I don't think his attorney cares that much. Any reaction from the other nuisance streamers? They talk shit about Johnny, but they're not willing to file any police charges. And also, you said for 50. Have you seen the effects of Somali trial on the rest of the nuisance streamers? Has any chilling effect? Okay, the one effect it has had, and I will say this is the one effect it's had, and I'm going to talk about this, give it a little patience, because after this video, I have a little snippet from them. How I think it's affecting the other nuisance streamers is I think it's affecting them by them not committing crimes. So what they are doing is right now they're in Korea and they're being annoying, but they're being very careful to not commit crimes. In Japan, there were some of them that were more flippant. They were a little bit more easy to commit criminal activity, etc. Right? Some of them had to flee, like DBR, right? I think they're a little bit more careful in Korea because they know that if they do it, they're probably going to go to jail right now because the Somali trial's on. So I think they're actually fearful in a lot of their normal stuff they do, which is a little bit more criminal. They're backing off a little bit. They're scared. They're definitely scared. There's no doubt they're scared. So yeah, doing crimes is bad. Yes, it's crazy, right? And that's the Somali effect, right? And people are paying attention to them, which is a Somali effect, right? Dustin, I'm going to answer this question. We're going to move on. Pretending for a moment he's smart enough to set this up. What are the odds he appears one day and smuggles himself out of the country? That is not happening. Cabbage Boy is not smart enough to smuggle himself out of the country. It is not happening at all. There's no way to do it. He has a hard travel ban. Korea's system is entirely electronic, and there's no country he can go to. He can't get into Japan. He's not going to go to North Korea, and China does not take random people off a fishing boat, right? And even imagine if he got to China illegally. Can you even imagine what would happen? It's worse than what would happen in South Korea. I'll tell you that. If he just showed up illegally in China, yeah,